Hey guys, Buffing Game Bad. Today bringing a video, and today for our Battlefield Weapon Series we are covering the German H&K 123, MG123, or the H&K MG4. So this is the replacement or the successor to the MG3, which is also currently in service. So this is unlocked at level 38 here in Battlefield 6. Go ahead, we'll show off some builds. I'll give you some history of the weapon as we go through some gameplay showing how I believe so far this is the best LMG in the game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and back out and we'll take a look at the weapon. So if I go to it here, let's go ahead and go over to LMGs, get the description of this. And so the M123K, that's the designation. The H&K 123 is the MG4. That's what it was designated before it was adopted by the military as the MG4. So the M123K is the MG4KA3 in game. So you can see here the description is an ideal LMG for mobile fire support, will dominate close quarters and keep enemies suppressed with high fire rate. So speaking of that, looking at the stats, the damage here, if we go ahead and expand these, damage is 25 per round, so it's going to be a 4-shot kill. Rate of fire is 830 rounds per minute, making it, I believe, the fastest LMG in the game. If we look at the SAW, that's at 720. It's faster than the M27, M60, obviously, RPK. So all these ones, yes, it is the fastest rate of fire LMG in the game at 830 rounds per minute. You have a magazine capacity of 100 linked disintegrating belts of 5.56 by 45 NATO with the option for a 200-round belt. Fire modes are auto. Reload time is 6.65 seconds. Muzzle velocity, 536 meters per second. ADS time is 367 milliseconds, and headshot multiplier is 1.34. So let's go ahead, take a look at it here. You have the base build in the correct color that the weapon comes in. You have the signature weapon support here for the Warfighter with a really nice camo on there, and then you have the mastery build here also, which the mastery build, I don't love the way that looks. I'd rather just go with the base version, honestly, for that tan camo. And then you have the Warfighter also. So let's go ahead and jump into it here. Let's just take a look quickly at the firing range. I'll show you the base build with the iron sights here. So the iron sights aren't like terrible, but they're also not great. So let's start with the barrel itself. Short barrel is what you want to run if you want to stay with the K build. So the K is the short barrel variant of the weapon. And then for the heavy build, you have the 450 millimeter barrel, which is also accurate for the weapon itself. The 612, I don't believe, comes in real life on the weapon. I think this is more of a fictional barrel, but you have the heavy barrel here, which helps improve accuracy over sustained rate of fire, which can be crucial with this weapon, especially in close quarters. So I'm going to go ahead and select that just for this particular build. I'll show you the short build too, but the short build, obviously, if you want the K variant, you're going to keep the short barrel version of the weapon. So we have the heavy barrel. Flash hider, this is going to keep you off the radar. The wording of the muzzles is a little bit misleading. So reduces the intensity of muzzle flash and fully hides in-world spotting while firing. So I believe this keeps you fully off the minimap, whereas the suppressor, you can see it reduces the range where soldiers is spotted on the minimap. So, and it reduces your hipfire accuracy. So you're still going to be on the minimap with the suppressor. I'm not sure if the wording for this is just misleading or you stay off fully with the flash hider and you're still spotted within a shorter range with the suppressor. So I'm not sure about that. Someone in the comments can go ahead and let me know down below. Again, I have the weapon to level 18. I've got some really good time with it so far, which is why I'm making this video now. So, the rail accessory will go to green laser. Again, this thing is a hipfire machine at close quarters. So because it has a slower ADS, because it is an LMG, hip firing in close quarters is pretty crucial. So I have the green laser right now. Obviously, if you continue to unlock, you're going to have better hipfire accuracy with these at the cost of points. So for 10 points, we'll go with the green laser. Left accessory, you have a flashlight. Not really needed for this build, I don't believe. You have the laser. I think that's good enough. Now, for the underbarrel attachment, there's three grips I like to run here. You have the vertical, the ribbed vertical. This is going to reduce recoil, the cost of aim down sight speed. You have the 6H64 vertical, significantly reduces recoil, the cost of movement speed and accuracy while aiming down sights. And then also you have the bipod grip, I feel like is a really good one also. The bipod grip will mainly, it'll help you with your hip fire a little bit, but mainly the precision and control, and you can mount it as a bipod in prone, which with this weapon, if you're going to set up in prone, so there's been some instances where I've just kind of held lanes, and being prone without a bipod obviously is not going to be in your favor for accuracy at longer range. Being able to bipod this thing in prone is crucial. So those are kind of the options I go with. I think the 20 round, either of the verticals here are pretty good options. We'll go with the 6H64 for now, and I'll show that. But again, I think either of these three, like I said, are probably your good go-tos here for the grip pod or these two verticals. Either of those, just based on your play style. And then for the optic, I played around with a few of these. I think the 1x and the aim points are pretty good. However, I like the 2x, the BF2M. There's a 2.5 times zoom on this. That's pretty good. I think the 3.5 ACOG will be really, really good at some point. However, I don't really want to use this one until I have the top RMR unlocked. Right now, the one I've settled with the most is the 4.5 LCAN. So the LDS 4.5 I think is the best, just because it personally, you don't need, it's not too zoomed in. You can hip fire at close range, and it really helps you be more on target at the longer range engagements. So we're going to go ahead with that. So we're at 75 points. And then you have the accessories here. I don't think you need this right now. Like I said, I'll use the ACOG with the RMR when I eventually do have that. Other than that, that's pretty much the build right now. And then flash suppressor or swap it out with a suppressor. Compensator is going to help the horizontal recoil a lot on this weapon, which it does have quite a bit of horizontal recoil. However, you're going to be all over the minimap, so I would not recommend that unless you don't care about that. I'd go with the flash suppressor or the flash hider or one of the suppressors. Seems to be the best option for these. And then obviously you have the 200 round belt for this, which this thing with a high rate of fire could be very useful. However, you can see you really need to reduce your attachments. You would really need a low grip, get rid of the laser, and stay with the flash hider, and probably just the heavy barrel would be good for this. So this is kind of the build I'm running with right now. Again, I'll probably beat this up a little bit more as I unlock it. Penetration rounds, you're going to have worse recoil with this, which I don't really think is needed given the rate of fire. So this is our final build here for this one. I'll show off a short barrel build here also. But this, I think, is my preferred build right now. Trying to find the better build for RedSec, and I still think this is probably going to be the one until I level it up just a little bit more. Let's go to the firing range, take a look at this thing. So the inspect here, again, I love the pouch for the belt. It looks awesome on the MG4. Really cool weapon here. It looks aesthetically pleasing, and it's a good weapon. You can see the ADS isn't terrible with this at all, right? But you can see you are going to get the horizontal bounce, so you really need to tap fire at ranges, and then you can hip fire pretty well at these closer ranges here. 25 meters is probably a little bit too much, but again, close quarters, these 10-meter engagements, pretty good. And it's going to be, again, a 4-shot kill at any range, I believe. So we'll test that here in a second. I'll mount this thing. We'll try that long target for the shot to kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it says 25 round per damage, but obviously it's going to drop off at that range. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 at close range. Okay, so outside of 10 or 15 meters is when that's going to drop off, it seems. So you can see here, I'll just hold the rate of fire down. See the spread with this and the recoil. If I'm not controlling it, that's the recoil pattern. If I control it, it's still bouncing all over the place. I'll just kind of dump here on this door is probably the best option. Just let it go without controlling here. So you can see if I control it, and then if I tap fire it here, obviously tap firing is going to be much more accurate, especially at these longer range targets. And again, if I'm bipoding it, I can kind of let it go a little bit more. And with the compensator, it would help obviously a lot more there too. So again, short barrel build, try that. We'll just swap out, or we have that vertical grip, that's fine. I'll show you what it's like with a compensator. Let's check that. Go back in. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Here we go. Let's go back in. See what the recoil does with this. So the compensator definitely helps the horizontal kick a little bit. I don't think it's worth it because you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna be all over the minimap. If you just learn to tap fire, which I'm still doing here anyways, it's not, you know, if you're just holding the trigger down at these longer ranges, I think that's when you would need it. Suppressor, let's go ahead and look at that. Suppressor, I really like the suppressor too. I was using it a lot, but again, you can see at those longer ranges is where you're going to struggle, which is why I was saying like something like a grip pod would be good if you're going to mount in a road or some hold some lane is a good option. So that's kind of the build that I'm going with right now. If I get rid of the laser options, let's see if we can free up some retail here for the 200 rounder. Go with a stubby grip. 200 rounds, so you can see like you're losing a lot just to get 200 round belt. But again, 200 round belt, if you're tap firing this, it's going to be just fine. And again, at those close quarters, the rate of fire is just going to chew through things anyways. With a 200 round belt, you can afford to kind of miss some shots. But at those longer ranges, you're still going to need to tap fire the weapon. So 200 round box looks awesome also, which is kind of the reason for it. I find myself running out of ammo quite a bit in multiplayer just because of the high rate of fire, so you really got to make your shots count. And if you want that 200 round belt, again, you're really going to have to get rid of some attachments, which I personally don't think it's worth it for the weapon. So that's kind of the build I'm running with right now. Let me know what you guys think. Just go back in one more time and show you. Now, if I hold down, let's just try these targets without tap firing. I'll just pull down to control it. So you can see that horizontal is just crazy there, right? So definitely need to tap fire at those longer ranges, but that's the MG4. Jump into the gameplay here, just running it in Breakthrough. Again, a lot of fun with this gun. If you're trying to level up weapons, I think casual Breakthrough is a really good way to do it. That's what I'm playing here. You get it populated with bots. You get a mix of bots and players. But again, for footage and to level up the weapon itself, this is what I'm doing right now. I play a lot of Conquest also. But again, if you're trying to level up weapons, like casual Breakthrough is the way to go. Especially just getting hands-on experience with the weapons and a lot of engagements. I think that's the way because you're going to get a mix of engagements here. So that's the footage you're going to see is casual Breakthrough. Now, some information about the weapon in real life. Again, this is H&K MG4, or the designation from H&K is the H&K 123. It's belt-fed 5.56 by 45mm NATO. A lot of you may remember this from Battlefield 4 as well. Now, the weapon does also have a bigger brother, that being the H&K 121, or the MG5. You may remember that from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. The MG5 was in that game. So if you're wondering why it looks familiar from the Call of Duty audience on my channel, that is why. It's been in service since 2005 through present, and the latest iteration, I believe, is the H&K MG4K A4. This is the KA3 variant of the weapon. So again, 2005 through present. It was designed in the 1990s. Production for the weapon started in 2001 through present. The mass of the weapon overall is around 17.9 pounds. The length is going to be 40.6 inches with the stock extended, 32.7 with the stock folded. So you can extend the stock and fold the stock. So it is a pretty versatile light machine gun for that. The barrel length is 450 millimeters. And then for the, obviously you have the shorter barrel variant that we covered here in the game also. And that 612 millimeter barrel, I believe, like I said, is fictional. The width of the weapon is 3.5 inches, with the height being 9.8 inches. And the cartridge, again, is the 5.56 by 45 millimeter NATO standard round. The action is a gas-operated rotating bolt. The real-life rate of fire comes in a little higher than the in-game version. However, based on the adjustable gas setting, it's going to fluctuate plus or minus 60. So the rate of fire in real life is 890 rounds per minute. Again, plus or minus 60 based on the gas setting for the weapon. Muzzle velocity in real life is 920 meters per second, which beats out the in-game version of 536 meters per second. The effective range is approximately 1,000 meters in real life, and then the feed system is that M27 linked disintegrating belt. Now, a cool thing here in real life that I believe carries over the game is the disintegrating belts will spit out to the right-hand side on the ejection port. However, the cartridges, the spent shells themselves, will be spit out of the bottom of the weapon. So the links are going to come out to the right, and the spent shells are going to be ejected straight down the bottom of the weapon. So that's a pretty cool feature of the gun itself. And then different variants come with built-in optics as well. The earlier versions have built-in optics. And I think the newest A4 variant also has a built-in optic, which it shares with the MG5 or the 121. So that's the weapon. Again, it's very similar design to the Belgian FN Mini-Me or the M249 saw that we see also here in game. And in Battlefield 4, they were identical weapons stat-wise. The only difference was, I think, the saw pulled to the right, whereas the MG4 pulled to the left. So that was literally the only difference in Battlefield 4. Here in Battlefield 6, you have a much bigger and distinct difference with the weapons. The saw still has a high rate of fire, coming in at 720, I believe it was. But here at 830 or 860, whatever this is, or 830 is this weapon, and the saw in game is going to be 720. So the saw, as far as that's still a very good rate of fire in game, and probably going to be a little bit more accurate. But the MG4, I think, is more versatile. Again, you can really compete with SMGs in close quarters with this thing, and if you use it correctly, you can stretch it out to range with tap firing and mounting the weapon. So combination of those things, it's a really good weapon. Let me know your thoughts down below. I believe so far, from what I've used in game, I used the Ultimax in the beta, and I've picked it up. I haven't used the M240 yet. I haven't unlocked it to really know, but I so far believe that the MG4 here is the best LMG in the game, at least. So I'll do a whole breakdown of all the LMG classes and things like that in future videos when I have more hands-on with every weapon, and then unlock more attachments. I want to level them all up to around 30 before I do videos like that, so that's going to take a little while. But let me know your thoughts down below of the MG4 in game or the M123K. Let me know what you think of it, what attachments you're running with this, what level you have it on. Again, I'm only level 18 with it, but I put in a good amount of time with this weapon the past week, so if you guys have it leveled up further, let me know what attachments you recommend over what I have. I think some of the other stubby grips that you unlock further down the road will help with the recoil more so than what I'm using here. But again, ultimately at the end of the day, you're going to want to tap fire anyway, so there's really no situation except for close quarters hip firing where you're just holding down the trigger with this weapon whatsoever. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, I'm going to be having these weapon videos coming a little bit slower than I would like, just based on the amount of time to get the weapons leveled up. I want to have them at least around past level 15 before I do these videos, so I have a decent level of attachments and time in the weapon to show you good builds and just share my experiences with the gun so far. And then I'll take that a step further and do kind of rank them each class weapons once I have them all leveled up further than that. So let me know your thoughts down below. Battlefield 6, again, I'm really enjoying it, and I think the builds that I showed here pretty much carry over to RedSec. It's a difficult weapon to use in RedSec just because of the ranged engagements, which is why I really opted for that 4.5 times LCAN. So I think that's probably the better option, just because you can tap fire and really see your targets. I think visibility for me can be a little bit difficult at those longer range engagements, and having the 4.5 optic there really helps. And again, close quarters, you can just hip fire, and if you're close enough at a medium range, that 4.5 optic really just helps you stay on target anyways. It's not really impeding your accuracy by being too zoomed. I think it works out really well for this weapon. So let me know your thoughts down below. Till next time, this is Buckner Gaming with Battlefield 6 weapons, the H&K MG4 or the H&K 123K. Let me know your thoughts down below. Next time, this is Buckner Gaming, out.